Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Adam Aiman bin Afendi. My metric number is 065760. So today I will present about my proposal defense, which is China involvement in the East Coast Railway Link project, economic diplomacy or potential debt trap. So this is my overview, this is my abstract, and moving on to the introduction. China used economic diplomacy to achieve global goals through trade, investment, finance, and infrastructure. With the Belt and Road Initiative as a prime example, there is concern about debt threat in BRI projects like the East Coast Railway Link in Malaysia that have raised questions about China intention and clarity in communications. The absence of clear definition for terms like debt trap and financial aid complicate discussion and evaluations. The dismissing of the idea of a debt trap is essential for project success and good relations. In this study, qualitative research method, including interviews and document analysis, are used to investigate China economic diplomacy and potential debt threat that concern in the ECRL project. Moving on to the background, China utilized economic diplomacy to advance its national interests globally, covering various sectors like trade, investment, banking, energy, and infrastructure. The Belt and Road Initiative is a major example of China diplomacy aiming at expand its influence and trade opportunities. Some argues that BRI projects are primarily driven by economic factors rather than strategic intentions. The term debt trap refers to inability to repay loans due to high interest rates, but evidence regarding China's strategic intent is debated. The Israel project has sparked controversy over its cost and Chinese involvement, raising concerns about potential indebtedness. Moving on to the problem statement, the lack of clear communication about the China intention in the East Coast Railway Link project poses a significant obstacle. This lack of clarity creates uncertainty about China's long-term objective, strategic concerns, and financial motivation in the project. There is no universally accepted definition of terms like debt trap and financial aid in the international economic relations. The absence of common framework for understanding these terms complicate the analysis of China participation in the ECRL project. Dispelling this notion is essential for an unbiased assessment of China involvement and project success. The failure to address the risk could strain international relations and hinder infrastructure development collaborations. So moving on to the research objective, I have highlighted three research objectives, which is to understand the concept of debt trap and financial aid in the difference between them, to analyze whether China involvement in the Israel project are a part of the debt trap or just a financial aid. Then the lastly is to determine whether China involvement in the SRL are debt trap or financial aid. So we move on to the research question. Also, I have highlighted three research questions, which is how can the concept of a debt trap and financial aid be operationally defined and objectively measured, and what key characteristic differentiates this concept. The mot- what motivates China involvement in the East Coast Railway Link project, and how do this motivation influence the financial stability in the recent recipient's country? And the lastly is in the context of the ECLA project, what specific indicators and criteria can be employed to determine whether China involvement constitute a debt trap or financial aid for the recipient's country? Moving on to the research and methodology, I have used this research technique, such as the use of qualitative method to understand China intention and potential consequences. I also use the expert interview for comprehensive understanding, extensive data collection approach integrating primary and secondary sources, the document analysis to identify trends, objective and potential dangers, and lastly the comparative analysis to compare China involvement in the similar infrastructure initiative. The literature review. So this is my top three literature review. The first of all is to explore the relationship between the China's FDI, non-Chinese FDI, and government debt in the context of debt trap in diplomacy. This article is to establish a higher effect of FDI and government debt in resources-rich and politically stable countries. This research also acknowledged the need for further research to confirm or deny the existence of the debt trap diplomacy. Next is the literature from Yu Chen Hao that critically examined the controversies surrounding Chinese investment in a development country, and he also highlighted the importance of the incorporating qualitative data in the current research, especially in the context of ECRL project. So we move on to the significance of a study. The Chinese economy diplomacy involves trade, investment, finance, and infrastructure development to promote national goals. The SRL project in Malaysia concerns about a potential debt trap in relation to Chinese participation in highlight. So we move on to the scope of study. The comprehensive examination of China in economic diplomacy focusing on Belt and Road Initiative and its East Coast Railway Link project in Malaysia. The focus on the complexity of the BRI, including its aim, complexities, and reason for its economic diplomacy. The definition of the debt trap and financial aid in international economic relations, and to examination of communication difficulties in related to Chinese objective in the ECRL project, and method to eliminate the perception of a potential debt trap, considering its impact on diplomatic relations and policy choices. So this is my chapter outline. That's all from me. Thank you for lending me your ears and have a great day.